Hello and welcome back to the Untitled podcast. My name is Brian Thomas and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get into today's episode, I just wanted to thank all you guys for the support. You guys have been going crazy on all of the shorts that I've been posting. I know yesterday's podcast also did well in views. I think as of right now, we're sitting at around 80 views, so that's very nice to see. And also before the video starts, I would like to just mention once again to please subscribe and like the video. I would really appreciate it, and it helps the channel a lot. Now, in today's episode, we do have a little bit of a shorter one. Not a lot really happening in the sports world, so I think I would just take it. I would take a little step back and just talk about the NBA today. Go through the standings, see where all the teams are, and then I would also go through the games that are going to be happening on the 12th of November. So yeah, let's get into it. First, we're going to get into the Eastern Conference. Looking at this, looking at these standings, I'm not really seeing anything too out of the ordinary. I'm looking at the Bucks at number 1 with a record of 10-2, the Celtics with a record of 9-3, the Cavs, the Hawks, Raptors, Wizards, Knicks, Bulls, Pacers, and Nets. If the playoffs were to end, or if the season were to end today, all those teams would be in the playoffs. Now, some notable teams that wouldn't make the playoffs would be the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. Definitely interesting. Hopefully they could pick it back up, pick their season back up. Maybe those are two teams that look to trade some of their star players at the trade deadline and look to rebuild a little bit. It could be a little interesting. You never know. Also, the Nets are on that fringe at the 10th seed. Obviously, Kyrie Irving is pretty much is in a unknown situation. He is suspended until further notice after making anti-Semitic comments. So it should be interesting to see what happens with him. One team that that should be doing a little better is the Charlotte Hornets. Definitely interesting to see. They are on a 7-game losing streak. Hopefully they could pick it back up. Maybe they look to move on from guys in that rotation like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and try to rebuild fresh. I know over this offseason they did lose Miles Bridges, who obviously has been in a little bit of trouble recently, but he was definitely a very big part of that team. Definitely the second option on that team, maybe even the third option behind Terry or Scary Terry, if you look at it like that. But yeah, nothing's really too out of the ordinary in the Eastern Conference. Now, the Western Conference, on the other hand, I cannot say the same thing. You got the Utah Jazz at the number 1 spot with a record of 10-3. After trading away both of their star players being Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. So definitely interesting to see that. And also interesting to see the Trailblazers at number 2 with a record of 9-3 on a 3-game winning streak. That team right now is being led by Jeremy Grant, which is definitely interesting to be seen. Obviously he's a great player. He was very great on Detroit. Really made a name for himself there, and it looks like he's making a name for himself on the Trailblazers. Is definitely establishing himself as the second option, especially with C.J. McCollum out of that lineup. Going through the rest of the standings, we got the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Mavericks, the Pelicans, the Spurs, and the Timberwolves. Notice how I didn't mention the Golden State Warriors, the reigning and defending champions. Right now, they are seated at 13th with a record of 4-7. Now, obviously, they're not out of it, with Minnesota being the 10th seed, having a record of 5-7. Definitely could be very interchangeable, but definitely interesting to see how poorly they've gone on. Maybe they look to get more. They look to bolster their lineup at the trade deadline, maybe moving on from guys like Kevon Looney. I think it definitely hurt them in this offseason to let certain guys go, one of them being Gary Payton. or Gary Payton II. I'm sorry, but yeah, I guess those guys had a lot bigger impact than I guess we thought. Obviously, if we're talking about the NBA, we got to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they need to go into a complete rehaul. I think at this point, you really look to, if I'm the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, I would like to see some offers on the table for LeBron James and Anthony Davis just to see what's available. Maybe you get some nice packages back, you get some draft picks, and you kind of tank for the future. Maybe you do try to tank and get Victor Wembanyama. Or maybe you still believe in the process and you believe in Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and maybe you still get Victor Wembanyama. I don't know. I I'm a little bit of a hot take, but I do think that the NBA is a little scripted, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers do get Wembanyama and actually win a championship next year, because what kind of story is that? LeBron retires next year. I feel like that's a perfect story right there, and that's all the NBA loves to talk about is LeBron James. So I guess my question really is, how does this affect LeBron's legacy? um, yeah, I guess that's all that I wanted to talk about with the conference standings. And I guess we can get into the games that are going to be happening today. The Nets versus the Clippers at the Clippers arena. I got the Clippers. The Nets seem like they're definitely not doing the best without Kyrie Irving. They need to bolster that lineup. The Jazz at the Wizards. The Jazz should win that. They've been on a tear recently. As I talked about before, they are on a 4-game winning streak. The Celtics at the Pistons. The Celtics should win that. The Pistons are not doing very well right now. Raptors at Pacers. Might be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm going to take the Pacers there. The Hawks at the 76ers. The Hawks should win that game. The Hornets at the Heat. That should be an easy game for the Heat. The Rockets at the Pelicans. The Pelicans should win that game against the Rockets. And the Trailblazers versus the Mavericks. Definitely going to be the game of the day. Definitely a toss-up game. So I would actually like to get your guys' opinion. Who's going to win who's going to win that game? The Trailblazers or the Mavericks? My guess, personally, is going to be the Dallas Mavericks. They are at home. Luka Doncic does Luka Doncic things. Yeah, I just believe in I believe in that team. Looking at the time of this video, I feel like I should. I feel like I need a little more content, so we're actually going to go over tomorrow's games also. Thunder at Knicks. I love my Knicks. King R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson, all great guys on the team this year. I would be pretty upset if we lost against the Thunder, so I'm going to go with the Knicks there. The Grizzlies at the Wizards. The Grizzlies are the better team. Speaking of the Wizards, it would be interesting to see if the Wizards try to move on from Bradley Beal and try to get some trade assets. Just something to note. I know he just signed a contract with the Wizards, and I do not know if there's a no trade clause in that contract. But if there isn't, definitely interesting to see where he can end up. That's all I'm gonna say. Timberwolves at Cavaliers. I don't know. Obviously, the Cavaliers are a better team. At least I think so. But for some reason, I feel like the Timberwolves are going to come out with that. I don't know why, but it's just a gut feeling. The Jazz at the 76ers. Jazz should win that. They're the hottest team in the NBA right now. Nuggets at the Bulls. That's actually a pretty interesting game. I'm going to go with the Nuggets, though. Warriors at Kings. Hopefully the Warriors can bounce back and win that game. And if this was a couple years ago, this would have been this could have been a really, really big primetime game. But the Nets at the Lakers. I don't know. I guess that's also another question to ask. Who do you think's going to win that game? Not because both teams are very good, but both teams are not at their full potential right now. So it'll be interesting to see. My prediction is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, though. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. And it looks like that's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm sorry for the shorter episode, but nothing really happened today, so I don't really have content to talk about. Tomorrow you should be expecting my reaction to UFC 281. I've been hyping it up all week, so that should be exciting. I should have a lot to talk about there, and I also have a lot to talk about after regarding the future of the fighters who win and lose those fights. Um, and then on Sunday, I could talk about the NFL outcomes on NFL Sunday, which will be fun. So definitely a fun weekend of content to look forward to for you guys. But that is going to wrap it up for today. Once again, I do want to thank everybody for the support. It means the world. We've been gaining subscribers. People have been liking the videos. All I ask is that we keep that up. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. And also, if you like the video, it goes a long way. That is going to be it from me today. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.